tutorial video for you to remind you how to work in Photoshop and how to start to prepare the mood boards that further you will need to import inside your InDesign file that we've started to do. So first thing first, little reminder, once you have your Photoshop open, or if you want to create a new file, a separate file for Photoshop, in order to do this, you can either press Ctrl N, that automatically creates a new file if your Photoshop is already open. If not, you just go to Files. Inside the files, here you have different file formats. The resolution that you need to do, like to select in order to work for printed things, is usually 300 pixels by inches or pixels by centimeters. Doesn't change much. 8 bits is more than enough. You can choose 16 bits. You will not see big difference. That's mostly for depending on the screen that you work on. So once you've selected, here you can also find different file formats. In the print version, in the print area, you have all the printed versions available. Me, usually I'm working with A3, so this is what I'm going to do and select an A3. We have different types of orientation. You can have vertical or horizontal. Because we're doing the mood boards for the two brands, we should use vertical since our layout is also vertical. And let's go for it. Here you will have a new file. On your right, you have just one layer for now. Once you will import all the images that you've selected to work with the mood boards, all the layers will show and appear here. How to import the images? The easiest way is to just open a folder where all of your images are. Let's say for me it's this one. Select the ones that you want and move them here. Sometimes you will only see one image first before the rest will appear. What you have to do is just continuously press enter, 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 and one by one all the images that you've selected for the upload will appear on the screen. Here on your right in the corner you will see all of those images. If some of the images have similar names or the names are too long and you don't know exactly what it stands for, by double clicking on the name you can rename it. For example, let's say we move it on top, so it's Monica Bellucci, we can call it Monica. And just press enter, it saves it automatically. Again, you can see it's easy to move all the layers. You can select multiple of them. For example, if you want to make them small all together, here you select one. For example, let's say at the bottom, you press shift, it's an arrow up, and you select, for example, Monica. So all the layers in between those two would be selected at the same time. If you only want to select, for example, 2 layers, then I would recommend that you move them close to each other in the layer section, up, like this. Then it gives you the opportunity to select only those 2 layers. And then by holding shift, those 2 layers are, those 2 layers are simultaneously moving. However, majority of you in Photoshop, if you use the shift, that will allow you to change the dimension of the images selected freely. So it will not be reducing the size equally on all of the sides of the image. So if you want that your image is proportionally made smaller or bigger, in that case, once selected, you just have to push it by itself. Let's move it here, and then you will see that then the gabarites, the size of it, are kept as is, as in the original image. So now when you want to start working with the image that you selected, if you see on your layers panel that it has a little icon here, in order to be able to modify the image by itself within the file that you are working on, I